So, talk about a complete tonal shift, right? From the dark and spooky hallways of Luigi's Mansion, we move on to the bright and bizarre world of Super Monkey Ball. The GameCube's launch lineup certainly wasn't lacking in variety, was it? Well, despite the North American launch lineup for the GameCube having so many titles, I think it's safe to say that there's nothing quite like Super Monkey Ball.
You got that right.
Who said that?
Phelan, relax. It's just me, Seth.
Oh, whew. Thought my copy of Super Monkey Ball was haunted for a second there.
What?
Look, I just finished playing Luigi's Mansion, okay? It was a whole thing. Anyway, what are you doing here?
You're talking about Super Monkey Ball. It's like a part of my entire personality. I had to forcefully roll my way in here.
Well, the more the merrier. Shall we begin? Well, let's just get the ball rolling here. Super Monkey Ball started life as a Sega Naomi arcade game simply titled Monkey Ball. If you weren't aware, the Sega Dreamcast has nearly identical hardware to the Naomi arcade machines to make porting games from arcades to Dreamcast much easier for Sega. I have to imagine that a Dreamcast port of Monkey Ball was in the cards at one point, but since the Dreamcast in 2001 was, well, you know. Sega shifted focus, leaving console hardware in the rearview mirror and becoming a third-party publisher, with the home console port of Monkey Ball becoming Sega's first published game on a Nintendo system.
Yeah, Nintendo GameCube just kind of made the most sense, I think, for them at the time. Not only for Sega at large, but for Negoshi and Amusement Vision and Super Monkey Ball. Taking this very simplistic arcade concept, which was by its very design, friendly, easy to understand, that obviously gelled very well with Nintendo's sensibilities. And it also made sense to move and focus development over to GameCube for Sega because it was a very family-friendly company. It was very much opposite of what was happening with Xbox and PlayStation at the time. Negoshi himself, of course, having kind of evolved over the years from the cute, kind of friendly designer of this little monkey in a ball game to making the Yakuza series like a Dragon series and kind of now dresses like a Yakuza overlord himself. But that's okay. I love him very much. And yeah, it also just kind of paved the way for a lot of the stuff Amusement Vision was doing at the time, going on to stuff like F-Zero GX. So the GameCube really was the perfect home for Monkey Ball.
I suppose since we mentioned the original arcade hardware earlier, we can start with the presentation. I gotta say, Super Monkey Ball might just take the cake for being the most colorful game on the GameCube. In an era where games were beginning to mature and chase photorealism, seeing something like Super Monkey Ball categorized into the 6th generation is refreshing to see. The game didn't really receive any graphical touch-ups from the arcade original though, so it's not really using the GameCube's hardware to its full potential. Is this game one of the best showcases of what the GameCube is capable of? No, not really, but its art style is timeless and has aged remarkably well.
I love the way this game looks. I love the kind of liminal space that these stages kind of float in and occupy with these, backgrounds. It kind of feels dreamlike. It feels like you're kind of suspended in, I don't know, an air in this kind of like liminal dream state. I love that. I love the way the monkeys look. I think the character designs are great. I love that in these early Super Monkey Ball games, they definitely look like almost plastic toys or something. There's a certain sheen to them that I love, which is kind of accentuated by them being in essentially gashapon balls. I love all of that stuff. The sort of aesthetic of this game is like one of my favorite things about it. It's impossible. It's so charming. It's just impossible not to fall in love with this world and these characters. Gon, of course, being my favorite. Not my favorite to play, but my favorite of the character designs, I think. He's just a big, stupid guy, and I like him a lot. the one I usually gravitate towards playing wise, and especially in later games, is Baby. But my Gongon's always going to be my boy.
I'm more of an II guy personally, but I mean, come on. As the guy that played through almost the entirety of Super Mario Bros. 2 with just Mario, you all should have expected that from me. But the character design for the entire cast, all around, absolute aces. This might sound a bit strange, but another thing I adore about the way this game looks is that all of its arcadeisms are still kept intact. You guys know what I mean, right? Flashy sequences with arcade leaderboards over them, that sort of thing. If it wasn't obvious from this video or some of my others, I'm a sucker for that kind of thing. Need I even mention the music? It's fantastic stuff all around, with Monkey Mall and The Storm probably being my favorite tracks in the game.
Oh, I think I gotta go Sky High from this one. I really love that entire aesthetic in general. That floating ruined castle in the background. That that total Y2K D&B aesthetic. I love it. I would give a shout to Monkey Target, which is very good in this game, but it is summarily outclassed in Super Monkey Ball 2. Monkey Target 2 is like one of the greatest video game single songs maybe ever made. Also, quick shameless self-plug. If you like video game music, check out my podcast, Bit Harmony, a video game music podcast. It's really good. And we did an entire 4+ hour episode on the entire Super Monkey Ball series. So if you want to hear more Monkey Ball music, check out Bit Harmony.
Well, at this point, you've probably seen these cute little monkeys rolling around and might just be asking, just what the hell is going on here? What's the story of Super Monkey Ball? There isn't one, and don't you dare ask that about Monkey Ball ever again. No, seriously. You play as a monkey, over there's the goal, bring the two together, and Monkey gets a lot of bananas and Monkey is happy. Now they may be happy about all those bananas, but I'm not. Seriously, these things are disgusting, and where do they all keep coming from?
What? Dude, are you kidding? I love bananas. And you gotta go with the Dole brand banana, of course. I would have it no other way. All right, let me put my banana down and let me pick something else up to illustrate properly what the gameplay of Super Monkey Ball is like, because yes, you are going rolling as a monkey in a ball from one point of a stage to an end goal, collecting bananas and such along the way, but the way you do it is actually pretty unique. So you are not actually controlling the monkey and the ball directly necessarily. You're kind of controlling the stage, and that sounds more complicated than it actually is. I'm going to illustrate it by holding this well-worn cutting board and placing II here on top of it. So if you can imagine II, he's a rolling monkey, and you kind of move the stage itself to roll II along the stage. Look at me, I'm so impressive not dropping it. And so you're not really controlling the monkey or the ball, you're controlling the stage. You're moving the stage around, tilting it, and carefully guiding II around, or once you get better with the controls, doing crazy skips and whatnot. The thing about this that I really love is that you are forced to reckon with the level design in a way that you are not often in a lot of games, certainly not arcade games, which are all about fast play, and Monkey Ball is too. You're also sort of incentivized to find cool and fun little skips, which is obviously something that I love, but you really are forced to learn the levels in a very intimate way, because you kind of are the level. In that way, you feel totally connected to the stage itself, to the character that you're moving through the stage, and it's like this perfect marriage of great ball rolling physics, level design, and sort of experimentation from the player learning their way around all of these things, which are unruly on paper, but in practice and dedication, something that is very fun to wrap your head around. In Monkey Ball's sort of like ultimate form, when you're getting into it, when you're in that flow state, that ultimate nirvana of Super Monkey Ball, you are the stage, you are the ball, you are the monkey.
The developers get a ton of mileage out of such a simple idea, and you can really see that through the game's level design. Courses will start out pretty simple, but once you start getting into the advanced and expert courses, you'll need to manipulate the ball's physics in increasingly difficult ways just to make it to the goal. You can also collect bananas on the various courses, which will award you with an extra life if you manage to collect 100 of them, so keep that in mind. Most of the bananas will likely come from the bonus stages. There's no penalty for falling off the course here, so take it easy and try to nab all of the bananas in the given time limit. I appreciate that the game has these. I feel like I'm constantly at the edge of my seat playing Super Monkey Ball, so having a quick breather level before jumping back into the action will always be appreciated from me.
Hey, Villain, how do you open your bananas? Like, a lot of people open it kind of upside down because they don't want this little stem hanging off, but I kind of like it. I kind of like having the peel hanging off, almost like going over my hand like a weird little fruit glove. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, that's easy. I'll show you. Like this.
Your anti-banana agenda is honestly concerning. Anyway, when it comes to the goals in Super Monkey Ball, having multiple goals that kind of reward player skill, having those things that are just out of reach, it's the kind of game where a player could easily pick it up and just get to the end goal, the initial goal if they wanted to, but if you're somebody like me who is kind of inclined to look at those things in the distance and wonder, I bet I can get over there. I bet I can pull that off. Let me retry the same stage over and over again. Let me hear "fall out" in my ear until I want to drive myself crazy. Let me just do that until I can nail all of these different goals. I personally love that. And I love finding skips and ways to speedrun the stages. That is my kryptonite when it comes to video games. That is like one of my favorites, my weakness. I always go for that stuff. And this game certainly has plenty of stuff to go for if you are that kind of sicko. Obviously, you can just, again, breeze right through it, have a good, playful time with it, no problem. But if you really want to go for like the extra stages, the expert stages, there is like a lot of content here and a lot to drive yourself crazy over in a good way.
Yeah, I can't overstate how much I love that the level design has extra goodies and goalposts to reward skillful play. There are even extra stages that you get to play if you complete the beginner and advanced courses without losing a life, or the expert courses without using a continue. Look, I'm a psychopath and enjoy when a game challenges me to improve at whatever game mechanics it throws my way, and rewards me for improving as a player. There really is no greater feeling in gaming to me, so if you're into that sort of thing, you have something to look forward to with Super Monkey Ball. Now, to circle back to the overall course design here, I really have to tip my hat off to the developers on these. Not counting the extra courses, there are 90 stages in the game for you to play from the get-go, and not a single one of these courses miss. Okay, actually, Expert Course 7 is pretty annoying. This ramp right here can kiss my ass, but every other stage in the game is immaculately designed, and is great at silently guiding the player to think outside the box in order to reach the goal. Yeah, Super Monkey Ball truly follows the adage of show, don't tell in its course design. No joke, the only thing the game tells you in the how to play demonstration is how to move and to not fall off the course. That's it. Despite that, just by playing the game, you'll come to understand how physics affects you on slopes. You'll figure out how to pick up speed, even in tight areas. You'll realize that you can jump across small gaps if you hit a wall or a bump with just enough speed. You may even realize that you can run off the course and land on a lower part of the level if you've got the right speed and a good angle. The more you play the game, the better you'll get at it, and I know that can be said for just about any game if you give it enough time, but my point here is that I can tell the courses were meticulously designed to not only challenge the player, but to teach them how to play the game better as well, all without a tutorial or a single line of dialogue. To me, that is damn impressive, and the mark of a brilliantly designed game.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that a lot of people kind of misunderstand Super Monkey Ball in a lot of ways because they find themselves getting frustrated with what the game is asking of you. It is asking you to learn to speak its language, in terms of your familiarity with level design, physics, timing, all of these things. But it's something that I really resonate. I love it when games challenge me in that way and allow me to really learn them. This is the way that I grew up playing video games. That's kind of what I love about video games, and I understand it can be frustrating to beat your head against the same thing, feeling like you don't have any control over what you feel is like random physics or something, but that's actually not the case. The physics are incredibly precise and consistent in actuality. You just have to learn how to kind of wrap your head around it. There's a reason that people speedrun Super Monkey Ball super consistently. Like, these things are just facts. And, for me personally, I love levels that kind of do incentivize timing. I love stuff like Blur Bridge and Labyrinth and stuff like that. I love anytime that the game requires like a little bit of like air precision, when you can land in like mid-air goals and stuff. I love stuff like that. I also think that the physics in Super Monkey Ball, the original Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2, are like so good and strong that like you can do stuff like that when the game asks you to. They've never quite nailed that. They've come close. The physics feel pretty good in stuff like Banana Rumble or whatever, but Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2 is still just like primo stuff. The perfect marriage of physics, level design, and everything. With that being said, though, those master courses, absolutely not.
It goes without saying, but the expert stages are pretty tough and will challenge you on several skills. If you manage to beat expert without using a continue and beat the extra stages afterwards, you'll unlock the master courses. You've got to see these for yourself. These are some seriously insane courses that truly require mastery to complete. Full transparency, I am not good enough at this game to play expert without using any continues, so you'll have to look them up somewhere else. Speaking of continues, you only get 5 continues to try and beat every level of the selected course. Once you're out of continues, it's game over. However, fret not, dear viewer, as you can unlock more continues and more game modes with play points. Well, before you're able to unlock more continues, you have to unlock all of the minigames first, each one costing about 2,500 play points. These are okay, but nothing more than a distraction when you want something a little different from the main game. Monkey Billiards, Monkey Bowling, and Monkey Golf. Monkey Bowling and Monkey Golf are a bit too frustrating to control for me personally, so I don't really bother with those modes at all. Monkey Billiards is alright though, even if I am just slamming into the ball as hard as I can like an enraged baboon.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I kind of like Monkey Billiards. I feel like a lot of people dislike it or talk down on Monkey Billiards. I think it's kind of a charming, fun little concept. Monkey Ball for me, like multiplayer stuff, the mini games, the party games, definitely that's like a very Christmas, Thanksgiving sort of memory for me. I used to love playing that stuff with my family over the holidays, hooking up the Gamecube in the living room and stuff and just playing some multiplayer Monkey Ball. I love that stuff. But yes, I have to admit that the party games are where that's where the real juice is.
Yeah, for me the party games are where it's at, and you have these modes unlocked from the get-go. So grab some friends, or don't, not judging, and enjoy Monkey Racing, Monkey Fight, and Monkey Target to your heart's content. Monkey Racing is exactly what you think it is. Race around a course and try not to fall off while hurling Mario Kart-like items at each other. Monkey Fight is an absolute riot. In this mode, you've got a punching glove strapped to the front of your ball, and you've got to knock your opponents off the stage, with various power-ups adding even more insanity to this already chaotic game mode. This might be a weird shout, but I'm suddenly reminded of Street Smash from Smash Bros. On 3DS. Monkey Target, on the other hand, is a bit different. Each player takes turns launching off a ramp and gliding to a target out in the distance, with various obstacles potentially impeding your flight. You've also got to keep the wind and physics in mind as you approach the target. You'll find yourself falling into the endless ocean quite often if you aren't careful. All of the party games are a really enjoyable time, even if you're just playing against the computers, so give them a shot.
Monkey Target might be my favorite, side mode, mini game, whatever, in any game ever. I just love that entire setup. I love that feeling of going down the ramp, flying in the air, taking that perfect aim. I love that stuff. Again, the music is incredible in that stage too, but just I don't know, man, something about it. If it's that perfect, it couldn't be more simple, but it is difficult to master and it feels great when you can pull it off. To me, it is bliss, Monkey Target.
Is it obvious at this point that I adore this game? Some of you might be thinking that I'm overblowing this a little bit, but full stop, Super Monkey Ball is a quintessential video game to me. It's a game with a simple concept that still seeks to squeeze as much potential as possible out of the idea. You just never know what the game is going to throw at you next, and you may not even know how to reach the goal right away. But the game is so brilliantly designed that, with enough experimentation, you start to get it, and suddenly, you just can't put it down. Put simply, Super Monkey Ball is what all video games should aspire to be at their very core. Endlessly fun, and I couldn't recommend it more. Unlike these abominations.
Oh man, I'm almost done with my banana. Anyway, I love Super Monkey Ball. It's one of my favorite games of all time, one of my favorite franchises. Super Monkey Ball 2 for me is even better in a lot of ways. I just love these games, and I highly recommend people give them a shot. You might find it frustrating, you might not gel with it, but at least give it a shot. The good news is that, I mean, if you have a GameCube, you can get the game on the aftermarket for relatively inexpensive. Not like the most expensive GameCube game in the world, certainly. You can also play Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, which is a new game, but it does kind of like take a collection of remixed and remade stages from Monkey Ball 1 and 2. It's good. It's not quite the same. It is not quite to the level. The physics are not quite right and stuff like this. But if it is your only way of playing Super Monkey Ball, then yeah, sure, I recommend picking it up. You can get that all day long for like 20 bucks. But it actually isn't the only way you have to play Super Monkey Ball. What if I told you that there was a person on the internet, a Super Monkey Ball fan, who just made Monkey Ball completely playable from your web browser or your phone, like browser. Like you can just play Super Monkey Ball for free from your browser. It's kind of nuts. Maybe I'll have Phelan put the URL or something in here. Man, it's really cool that somebody did that. You can hook up your controller to it if you want to, and it is remarkable how good it feels and how well it all works. Shout out to Bytes Dev, Twilight PB, I think they go by. Very, very cool project. And yeah, I mean, quite literally anybody can just try Super Monkey Ball at any time they want to. So yeah, do that. Phelan? Hello?
What?
What are you doing? We gotta like outro the video, wrap this thing up.
No, dude, just plug your channel. I just want to keep playing Super Monkey Ball.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for having me. It was super fun to talk about Monkey Ball with y'all. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, you can find me, Seth Sturgill, on YouTube, $2 Hero. That's me on YouTube. I do a lot of, Let's Plays, long plays sort of stuff. I stream, play a lot of indie games, Nintendo games, stuff like that. I mentioned it earlier, but Bit Harmony, a video game music podcast, is a music podcast that I do with my friend Matt. And I'm also part of the team at Carpool Gaming, doing a bunch of podcasts over there, like the Nintendo Drive. So yeah, check out all of my stuff if you would like to. I appreciate it. Now how do I, like, get out of here? What do I do? Maybe if I finish this banana.